Hello, I'm Soleah and welcome to my channel. It appears that this is going to be the first video that I record for YouTube, although it wasn't the one that I expected. And that's why today's message is here to remind you that no matter what, you are loved, you are supported, and you are valued. And I myself was just reminded of this, and that is why it's the perfect message to share at this moment in time. So today was going to be a day for recording a couple of YouTube videos, finally, and so nothing turned out exactly as I planned, not even close. First, there was myself, always the biggest challenge, procrastination of a sort. I have been guided to start a YouTube channel for, I'm sure, over a year now, and here I am finally creeping out of my safe, secure hole of anonymity. Although I have been doing local readings and energy healings for a couple of years now, but as far as getting on a larger stage, or at least the potential of broader exposure, has been a little unsettling to me, even more so in today's environment. But I do feel called, and I am guided to share messages of love and hope, enlightenment, upliftment, and empowerment with you as they are shared with me. And I hope that they'll be received with the love that they are given in. So I had all of these plans and none of it quite worked out the way I had expected. Finally got everything together, and then I had technology issues. Well, actually, it was predominantly technical issues. Then there were car noises, and there's a siren in the background to further emphasize this. But that's all right. And this endless list of annoyances, large and small, to the point that I realized I was probably too tired to do anything. And I still persisted, determined to have a practice session of trance channeling. That was not to be recorded. That's just one of the things that I'm working on. At getting into a deeper trance state. And that wasn't going particularly well. And so I ended up, instead of any kind of automatic writing, I ended up writing a list of frustrations. And a lot of times when I do that, I at least get to the point I can laugh at myself and not take myself so seriously. So I realized I wasn't going to get any messages in the frame of mind that I was in, even after having done some breathing meditations and that kind of thing. So I had the impulse to draw a card, because I've done that a lot more frequently, and it's a nice way to end a session, particularly because I was starting to see the humor of the ridiculousness of myself and my attitude and the decisions that had led me to that moment. And to give you an idea of my level of energy, I have a large box that has oracle and tarot cards in it, but it had a couple of things stacked on top of it. And I decided I didn't have the energy to open the box, even though I did see an image of a deck to use. And I said, no, I do have this new deck sitting over here. They're oracle cards. I'm looking at them now, and I'll use those because they're convenient, if that's okay with you guys. And I guess they realized that they didn't have a whole lot to work with tonight, so that was acceptable and worked better with my energy. So I pulled them over, and then I decided, and here they are, they're the tea leaf oracle cards, and they come in a bag, and you almost draw them like a rune, even though I was trying to sort of shuffle them and within the bag so I didn't throw them around the room. So I decided to draw those, and as I was doing it, normally I get a pretty good feel of what card to pull. It will stick in some way, it will stand out in some way, even if they all look the same. But in this case, every card, it wasn't quite right, it was my imagination, and I just kept putting them back in as I was sort of shuffling with both hands in this bag and deciding that I was getting no messages tonight. I even didn't like the color, and you may notice, there's not a lot of color variety in here. I think there's one other color that is possible, which of course won't show up now, but they are there. It's like a green or a blue or something. So, oh, here we go. There it is, see? So not a lot of color variety here, but the color I decided wasn't right. Finally, one card just flipped wildly across the room. Okay, only about 2 or 3 feet, but that's pretty good for a little card that's in a gold bag. How that happened, well, that's the way life works and spirit works. So the card of all cards was V for victory, victory in some endeavor. And it was so perfect because it reminded me that I was loved and that I was supported and that I had triumphed just by making it to work on these things, even if they didn't work out the way I had hoped. The main thing is that I had focused on it and worked on it and worked toward my goal. And that was a victory. And also, of course, I felt it was a victory just in the fact that I was able to get a message that I had no doubt was from spirit and not my imagination and not my frustrated ego. Like I said, I've just started working with this tea leaf deck, and I felt to pull a total of 4 cards. And the next card was Vase, Secret Admirer. And I really appreciated this because, again, they were just letting me know that they loved and supported me, and that there were probably more people who admired me in some form than I was consciously aware of. And I also really love flowers, although you can't tell right now. And this vase has flowers on it, which I just love. So that cheered me up right there. And of course, it's an empty vase in this particular picture, and that makes me want to fill it with flowers. So it's reminding me to, oh goodness, the message I just got is that I am the flower. A rather big flower, but there we are. And this is ironic because I had a message from a mediumship reading with the wonderful Alyssa, Florida medium, just yesterday from my grandmother, to let my gifts and self bloom from the heart. And that's really wonderful, and I really appreciated it. The next card I pulled was 4-leaf clover, great good fortune. And I felt this message was there to remind me that, first of all, the color green really stood out to me. So it's reminding me of heart chakra energy, of love and healing and peace. And just that, I also had the thought that it has to do with reminding me that I make my own luck through my effort, through my alignment with joy and hope and forward moving action, as in making a video versus thinking about it, talking about it, worrying about it. Some are more useful than others, but none of them actually get a video up on YouTube until I hit record. They were just letting me know not to give up, but that things are shifting in a better direction. And then the last card was Tower. And when I first saw Tower, I gave a little cringe because in tarot, which is where I most commonly see Tower, it has to do with unexpected change. And I have to remember that unexpected change is not always bad. There have been many good unexpected changes. But in this particular deck, I felt to read the words tonight. Sometimes it's just the image, but tonight I definitely was led to read the words. And they are solid foundation, success with effort. So it's very clear to me that they were encouraging me to continue to build this foundation that would be worth the work, that love and victory, enlightenment and empowerment are following me into this as well. So I'm experiencing what I'm here to share. And again, tying in to making my own luck, but in alignment with Spirit's guidance, in alignment with joy, in alignment with the messages that I'm here to share. And I actually really like that part. So I hope that you can apply this message to your life, because I assume that if you're watching this, that it's the perfect time for you to be reminded that victory is coming your way, that you are loved, supported, and admired, whether or not you're aware of it, that luck is on your side. Love is flowing forth as a big part of that luck. And that the foundation that you're building is worth the effort. Keep building a foundation of love. Keep building a foundation of joy and peace and love. And I leave you tonight with joy and peace and love. Namaste.